Hello again. At a time when many people are demanding that the government prevent boatloads of illegal immigrants from crossing the English Channel, the new Mayor of Lincolnshire has put forward a fairly mild and restrained idea. She has said nothing about using force to keep these people out of our country, but merely says that instead of putting them up in hotels, we might instead accommodate them in tents. There have been predictable howls of outrage at such an idea. Is it really so dreadful, though? These are people who have chosen to live rough on the French coast in the hope of entering our country illegally. Would it really be such a terrible thing to make it plain to them that crossing the Channel would not bring about an immediate improvement in their style of living? Would it perhaps discourage some of them from attempting to come here illegally? And also, are they actually in danger of persecution and death in France? If not, in what possible sense can we view them as asylum seekers? They are safe in France. Why don't they apply for asylum now? The answer is, of course, that the French will not put them up in hotels and then rubber stamp their applications, giving some pretty dubious characters the right to stay in their country forever, and then bring their families there to France as well, once they've been granted citizenship. The anger with which Andrea Jenkyns' proposal has been received would hardly have been greater had she suggested that asylum seekers should be subject to summary execution. They have been sleeping rough on beaches before sneaking into Britain. Why should we reward them for doing so? I cannot personally see anything in the least wrong with setting up a guarded camp with rows of tents for these men to live in while their applications for asylum are carefully investigated. The current situation is that they are allowed to roam freely, and if it looks as though their application might be turned down, then they simply vanish. I can see no reason why we shouldn't keep them in one place until we establish whether or not they have a right to stay here. If not, then they would simply be removed. I cannot help but wonder what effect such a policy would have on the number of people prepared to cross the Channel in small boats, as so many thousands are doing at the moment. Does anybody think that it might have the effect of making many of them think twice before embarking on the journey? If they knew that their reception would be a barbed wire enclosure containing tents, would that make any difference? Seriously, that is a real question. Would the numbers of so-called asylum seekers rise or fall if we adopted this course of action? It would certainly be a damn sight cheaper than putting them up in hotels or private rented accommodation. Personally, I think it might be time to stop pussyfooting around the question of illegal immigration and to confront it head on, which neither Labour nor the Conservatives seem willing to do. The thumbnail to this video shows how enemy aliens were put up in this country in Surrey in 1915. Such establishments need not be in the least cruel or inhumane, and might provide conditions roughly comparable to soldiers on manoeuvres, say.